Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I know what you're thinking. Hey, Roper, don't you have a college degree? Shouldn't you be getting your life together?
Yes, probably. But here's the thing. Historic and important social movements aren't normally recognized until after the fact. For example, that one Asian guy that caught himself on fire, I'm sure there were plenty that thought that was a terrible idea.
Even Judas was like, nah, let's not do that.
The framework of a moral and rational society not based on tyranny is governed by the individual's ability to martyr himself in such a way that is very thoughtful and careful.
But civil disobedience is no joke, and you're gonna want to avoid it unless it's completely necessary.
But slow down there, Lone Ranger. You're gonna want to think this one through, and you're gonna need some friends along the way.
See you later, buddy. Have fun in prison.
Thanks, man.
This is where I used to work as a janitor. This is where I went to college.
Peanut butter? What are you doing under there?
Hello, everyone. We're a bit more laid back, in now than we have been. I'm going to take a minute to try to address or talk to you in layman terms about what's going on with the prison system and marijuana drug policy. So I'm gonna take my shot at that. So what you're looking at is we're looking at something that's federally illegal. So it's illegal on a federal level. Now the states, with their own moral imperatives, with their own, for better or worse, however you want to categorize that, stuck a middle finger to the federal government in the sense that they found it unjust. And so you're looking at something that's illegal on a federal level, while on the states level, so the states are ignoring it, digressing the federal regulatory ideas, and then the feds, they're actually just, for the most part, they're kind of staying out of the thing, as they should, because that would be a bad move on their part. That would be, and I'm not saying that they wouldn't morally. It's so much so that they understand that would be systematically a terrible idea on their part. So, 2 grams of 2 grams of hash. I think we've already talked about this. 2 grams of hash THC is a minimum sentence of 2 years, 2 to 10 years in a state federal penitentiary. Whereas 4 grams is anywhere from 2 to 20 years, 20 being the maximum, but all of which with a $10,000 fine. And so what you're looking at with something like this is that clearly the state levels are functioning differently state by state than it is on a federal level. Although the reason that these states are able to have such harsh penalties are due to the fact that it's illegal still on a federal level. So let's take a step back and look at what's happening on a federal level. As convenient as it may seem to say that what's occurring here is something that's done by a type of worldview or bigotry or whatever you want to call it, although that is too convenient. Unfortunately, it can't be boiled down to that. So, insofar as I currently understand it, what you're looking at is a multitude of levels by which the that marijuana policy has reached the point that it has. And so what you're looking at is you're looking at something that exists within a historical context, something that exists within a political context, something that exists within a social context. And so you're looking at a multitude of levels, all of which, interestingly enough, I have found to be personally to be the most systematically corrupt from the bottom up in all three categories. That this is something that is systematically flawed and morally bankrupt, unlike anything I've ever seen. The historical aspect of it is you go back and you look at Mexicans. They rape your women and you go crazy. And only these dirty Mexicans. Go look at the ads. Only these dirty Mexicans do. So there was a federal campaign, but what you're looking at with that in the historical context is you had cotton. Look it up. Don't. It'll be in the history books, and then not the history books. Got it going on here, but like this will soon be. Unfortunately, not soon enough for me, but this will soon be a thing of the past that is insanely, incomprehensibly unlike anything we've ever seen. Nobody drinks a glass of wine and then gets thrown in prison in the same way that you can buy something for $30. And it's just like, although be it is extremely concentrated, it's still $30, $30 to $60. It's a little bit on sale, so 30 is actually a little bit on the cheaper end versus like $40. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, where were we? So you have that in the historical context. Oh yeah, you had cotton farmers. That's pretty well that's on the documents. That's that you had people that were growing cotton, and the hemp farmers, because hemp's a plant, hemp's a type. A lot of people don't even know this, and it's like, especially where I live, they have no idea. It's quite sad. It really is. So hemp, it's a plant that will soon be the most useful plant to ever exist, used in a multitude of levels, used for building things, used for medicinal purposes. It's if you had to categorize what would potentially be the best plant, or the most versatile plant of any kind, that's what you're looking at. Is you're looking at the hemp plant. So anyways, these cotton farmers were extremely they didn't like it. They didn't like the whatever, the competition. And so you I forget these people's names, but I mean, again, like, it's there, and I'm sorry that I don't remember their name. Somebody leave a comment, and by the way, we have a comment section now, so just now. So somebody do that and start posting the facts on something like this. You like my pillow? I like that pillow. On the political, right. And so what you want to do is you want to follow the patents. Patents are these things to where these various companies and these various like the U.S. government has patents and on various strains, and so what you're looking at is you're looking at a capital. You're looking at various ways that individuals can bank on cash, and so the flow of things is that when it stays illegal, point blank, when it stays illegal, these pharmaceutical companies are in the midst of being able to use their to it's in the financial benefit of pharmaceutical companies in the let me see how would I explain that. So once something's because it's federally illegal, you can't do research studies on it. You can't and so you have somebody that doesn't use THC. There's no reason that anybody would that outside of the realm of THC would want if something actually helped people. That's not necessarily in your benefit if you're trying to allegedly make something also that helps people. Um, let me take a minute right now to talk about the benefits of when did I why am I when did I become this guy that knows all this stuff? This is just it's when something's morally wrong. That's it. And so that's what I'm interested in is the moral aspect of corruption. um Whether or not people smoke weed, I who it's not the point. um I think I'm about to eat some chicken nuggets brought to you by Burger King. Crispy golden nugget. And that's by Burger King. So please go out and support them. You don't know this, but I'm actually Burger King's actually they're behind all. I'm kidding, not being serious. Unless you want to be. Okay. Where was I? Okay. It was what you're looking at in the psychological realm as far as what this plant, it's the derivatives, the result of such. Is this upside down now? Did I make this upside down? Is it? Am I upside down now? Okay, hold on. So I lost the job of we're getting to the stool part in just a second. I lost the job of being a youth minister at that location because I had posted on Facebook about the medical use of THC, not even THC, of cannabinoids, of the use of non-psychoactive use of marijuana for children suffering from seizures. And welcome to Texas, to where that's something that you don't do. And that and giving sermons, Pat, like I was supposed to give a 5-minute thing. And I went on for about 10 or 15 minutes. And so, I was really pushing my limits there, I was a loose cannon. And so I lost my job there. And the pastor told me, you come back here, we're going to have a problem, man on man. Anyways, I would like that now. Back then I was a little pussy, I was a little bitch, and so I didn't do anything. But now I would love to get hit in the face by a pastor, given the right circumstances. Because you get one free punch, and then their retirement's out the window. It's a good deal. So TC Broom. Let me say it again. TC Broom. One more time, just in case y'all didn't catch it. TC Broom offers out there, buddy. Both sides, actually. Anyways, this stool. This was from the pastor, the youth minister before, who threw it up against the wall and broke it because one of the kids were smoking dope, and so luckily he saved that child from the wicked ways of Satan's clutches by setting his path straight, by scaring the by scaring the hell out of all the kids there by breaking the stool anyway. So here I am, marijuana advocate. Yeah. I mean, yes, for sitting on the stool that a pastor broke because some kid was smoking dope. So I'm glad he made the world a better place. Good work, sir. Really setting them straight. Okay, so let's get down to business. The psychological aspect of the use of THC, both psychoactive and non-psychoactive. What you're looking at is you're looking at the use of THC as extremely useful for those suffering from addictions. And so what you're looking at is you're looking at a bunch of people who boys and girls whose mothers and fathers suffer from addictions to prescription medications. The use of THC is actually shown in research to be able to help individuals curb the usage of such by because it's a psychoactive property, so it affects the psyche much like any type of pharmaceutical thing that you're going to be looking at, like psychiatric drugs. It's in the same category. Whenever people say well, let's get real here. Let's talk about people that smoke dope. Let's just be honest. They just want to get high. Well, that's how psychiatric properties work. Actually, they affect the mental calibration. So actually, yeah, that's actually correct. Good work, sir. All you people on antidepressants just want to be taking something that makes you anti-depressed. Yeah, that's really what it's really, psychologically speaking, that's the outcome that we were all aiming at. So yes, you are in fact correct. Okay, and so where were we? Oh yeah. Was it where I'm were we on the place where I'm a menace to society? Is that the yes? So here you go world. I'm the one you're looking for. I'm the source of all of your problems right here. My mother, my background, my mother used to be one of those people that suffered from the use of prescription medications. And a lot of them, there's a lot of people, a lot of good people suffer from that. And I would have much preferred to have a pothead mother, but that wouldn't have worked out too well for the pharmaceutical companies and the money that they want to make. So no luck on that one. Follow the money. Always follow the money. It's a sick world. Where were we? This was my grandfather's badge. Decided to not wear it in public. Almost did, but it's he was a policeman. Back in the 70s, that would have been crazy. Federal regulations would have been also pretty intense back then, but a lot of the cops elected to. They were like, I'm not doing this. Now cops have body cams, so I suppose that's kind of changed the structure of things. But if I am to be completely honest about this whole thing, the truth is it's already difficult to do something like this because you're worried about yourself, you're worried about your own livelihood and such. You get the idea. But it's like, it's every moment all the time. That, like, really, like, it's my mother. That's difficult. Doing this to your mom, that's difficult. And so if I am to be completely honest about my opinion regarding law enforcement, is that after your third pothead, after the third pothead that you arrest, or I mean, how long does it take? Like, how many do you do? How many times do you just? How many times until you recognize that what you're doing is completely morally bankrupt, and that you can do all the justification that you want now, but what you're doing is you're using ends to justify means, because you know that here very quickly that all of your behaviors are going to be inconceivable by future generations. Not even future generations, these generations. And as if that's what morality is anyways, you're acting out these behaviors, putting people in handcuffs, doing all that to say, yeah, it makes it very hard for me to trust your judgment. It is hard to respect someone who is able to do that. Now, I understand you have to do a lot of other things that have nothing to do with that. That, somewhat, like, probably 60 to 80% of the calls are domestic disputes and traffic, and it's a necessary construct. But I mean, like, if I'm you listen to me. You take somebody away from their mother. You do that. How do more of you not revolt? Really, really, really. How do you follow the structure? How do you do it? You have to be doing some wacky stuff in your head, and I feel sorry for you. However, I don't know. Like, I almost feel bad for you, because a lot of people in that profession, they yeah. You're not thinking. You're really not thinking. Because if you were, you'd be like, I'm acting out the behaviors of a sociopath right now. And so I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the idea that a revolution, or the idea that something equating some more of an internal dispute, which, of course, why would they support it? Of course, nobody's going to support that. Like, like, if you're a cop, like, of course you have to maintain the law and everything like that. When is civil disobedience ever encouraged? And so the idea that there's not more of an internal disruptancy than what I feel there is, like, yeah, a lot of you, a lot of you have used your ends to justify your means, and it's sloppy, and it's lazy, and it's immoral. So, yeah. So, I mean, if you're a police officer and you wonder why, if you wonder why people have such a difficult time, it's because what you're doing it's because, not all of what you're doing, whatever, like, a lot of what you do is the behaviors of somebody who is acting irreasonably, and morally, what's the word? Morally, you fucking crazy. What you're doing is crazy. Every time you do what you do, every time you lock up a pot or whatever. And I know you do other things, but you're nuts for doing that. And you better know it. You better know it. As if history won't. Okay. Well, it's been fun. It's been real. I am about to go visit my mother. The most amount of human contact that I've had amidst this pandemic has been like getting coffee, and I try to avoid gas stations and stuff like that. So this coronavirus, people who the numbers are so difficult to get a hold of. By the way, it's 20 to 25, somewhere in there, percentage of the world's population of incarcerated people is in the United States, whereas close to 4 or 5% of the United States is the world population. So in the great freedom nation, we have more people locked up than anywhere else. Yeah, there's some real freedom for you. A lot of you people, the way that you've come to understand things, you're off. Like, you're way off. You should do some self-evaluation and pay more astringent detail to the facts. We'll see how this thing plays out. You know, like if you say that I'm wrong, if you say that, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. I'm so sorry for you people that have to deal with. It was crazy. History will not look fondly on this whole mess. All right, well, I'm going to stop talking now. So, okay, my mom wants me to be a news reporter. I would like to do that. But you don't always get what you want. So, if anybody wants this apartment, come and get it. My lease ends here pretty soon. So if you want it, it's here. Okay, well. All right. San Francisco. Okay. Bye-bye. What's my 2 biggest regrets? Not cleaning this fucking apartment and not finishing writing a book. Bye, apartment. I love you. Goodbye, lamp. Goodbye, curtains. Goodbye, TV. Goodbye, welding helmet. Goodbye, gas mask. Goodbye, Jello. Goodbye, stripper pole. Goodbye.